familiar case, Keswananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Why this case became familiar? You know that this case is related to basic structure of the Constitution of India. Basic structure of the Constitution of India. In this case, Supreme Court defined what is basic Constitution of India. So this case became familiar. Now, how to study this case? Case study of Keswananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Facts in that case, as well as issue in that case, and arguments of the petitioner, arguments of the respondent, and judgment passed by the Supreme Court. Fact: Keswananda Bharati said, in the year 1970, Kerala government passed one legislation in the name of Land Reforms Legislation 1970. According to that Land Reforms Legislation 1970, the Kerala government imposed some restrictions on religious lands. On religious lands. Because of this legislation 1970 passed by the Kerala government, maximum lands of Keswananda Bharati have taken by the government. This action was challenged before the High Court by Saint Keswananda Bharati. But High Court dismissed and supported the action of the government, that is the Land Reforms Legislation 1970. In terms of Constitutional Amendment, 24th Constitutional Amendment. 24th Constitutional Amendment. Because according to Article 368, the Parliament or the state government has power to, means that is the legislature has power to amend the laws as well as the Constitution. So if they have power, why they should not amend the Constitution, or why they should not pass such type of laws in the interest of the public? That is the arguments of the respondent. The arguments of the petitioner are that according to 25th Amendment, right to property is not a fundamental right. According to the 24th Amendment, any means the Parliament even can amend the basic structure of the Constitution of India, including the fundamental rights. So, is it right or not? Means, can the Parliament amend the basic structure of the Constitution of India, or can modify or amend the fundamental rights? Is the issue. The arguments of the Keswananda Bharati, means petitioner, are that according to Article 13, either the law passed by the legislature or the executive action of the government cannot override the fundamental rights, as well as the order, means the legislation 1970 passed by the Kerala government are overriding the fundamental rights. By using the power conferred under Article 368, both the governments, Union of India as well as the Kerala government, are imposed the restrictions on religious lands, which is against Article 21. The arguments of the respondents are that the Parliament has power under Article 368 to amend the Constitution, including the fundamental rights. Already, Article 13(3) clears that even the parliament has power to amend the basic structure as well as fundamental rights also. So there is no maintainability to the petition filed by the petitioner named Keswadananda Bharati or the arguments of the respondents. Upon hearing both the arguments of the petitioner as well as the arguments of the respondent, Supreme Court cleared that even though Article 368 conferred powers to you to amend the Constitution of India, we are not questioning that article means a 24th amendment. It is not illegal. But Article 13(3) is illegal. You cannot amend the basic structure. You cannot take back the fundamental rights of the citizens. Even the parliament also cannot do so in terms of Article 13. In terms of Article 13. That type of means act or law or the action of the executive is illegal. So Supreme Court upheld Article 20 means that is 24th amendment, but struck down Article 13(3). That is the power of Parliament to amend the basic structure or the fundamental rights of the citizens. Hence, this case became familiar for the basic structure of the Constitution of India. So, these are the familiar cases, and by this way, you have to read the familiar cases. As well as other cases also there, Minerva Mills versus Union of India. And the other case is there, Indira Gandhi versus Rajmarayan. So these two cases also belongs to basic structure of the Constitution of India. As well as Indira Saini case is there. Indira Saini case is related to creamy layer of reservations for BCs, backward communities. As well as Bengaluru water supply versus Savaraj versus Rajappa case is there. It is related to definition of industry. Definition of industry. Like that, first of all, you have to select the familiar cases. After that, you have to note down that why that case is familiar. If it is possible, you have to note down the date of judgment passed by the concerned court. If it is possible, you have to note down the names of the petitioner as well as the respondents. And you have to note down the concerned articles in that case. Just like as Article 13, Article 356, Article 14, and Article 21, and Article 226, like that, what are the articles are connected with that case, you have to note down. As well as you have to note down the relevant laws submitted before the concerned court by the either of the parties. Finally, you have to note down the operative part of the judgment. What is the conclusion? What is the order passed by the that is Supreme Court of India? Whether it is upheld or it is struck down. Whether it is upheld or it is struck down. If it is upheld, concerned law passed by the government or not. Whether it is struck down, it is omitted from the so and so means that is the Constitution or not, you have to check. In this way, you have to prepare the notes on familiar cases and case study to get the good marks in the prelims UPSC. So all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
If you have any doubts, ask. I shall be available for 5 more minutes to you.
Dear students, any doubts? Manisha?
If you did not understand any case, I can repeat Because 5 more minutes time is there.
Sir, can you please explain the third case again?
Third one, that is Maneka Gandhi's case.
No, sir, fourth one.
Fourth one, Kesavananda Bharati's case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kesavananda Bharati's case. Why this case is familiar means this case is related to basic structure of the Constitution of India. Facts in this case are Kesavananda Bharati is a saint, Hindu saint in Kerala. In the year 1970, Kerala government brought one act into the force in the name of Land Reforms Legislation 1970, means nothing but a Land Reforms Act 1970. According to this act, they imposed some restrictions on religious lands. If any religious temple or trust has lands more than some from more than some 10 acres or 15 acres, that more than lands will be treated as the lands of the government. This is the restriction in the Land Reforms Legislation 1970 passed by the Kerala government. This Land Reforms Legislation 1970 affected the fundamental rights of Kesavananda Bharati because many of his lands were taken by the government of Kerala. Hence, he challenged the action of the government, means the entire legislation 1970 before the Kerala High Court, as it is against the Article 21 of the Constitution of India, and it is overriding his fundamental rights. But Kerala government struck down it in view of 24th Constitutional Amendment. Because according to the 24th Constitutional Amendment, either the parliament or the state can amend, even though constitution. So, this was challenged by the Kesavananda Bharati by way of special leave petition before the Supreme Court of India. The issue is that can the Union of India or the state government under Article 368 can override the fundamental rights of the citizen? Whether they can amend the basic structure of the Constitution of India under Article 368 or not, it is the issue framed in this case. The arguments of the petitioner, that is the Kesavananda Bharati, are that the action of the both Union of India as well as the action of the state government of Kerala in passing the Land Reforms Legislation 1970 is illegal in terms of Article 13 as well as Article 21. These are the arguments of the petitioner. And the arguments of the respondent are that Constitution has provided some powers to them under Article 368 to amend the Constitution. So when we are using our powers granted to us by the Constitution of India, who can stop it? What is the maintainability to this case are the arguments of the respondents. Upon hearing both the arguments, Supreme Court came to a conclusion and declared that you have powers under Article 368, no doubt. As well as under Article 13, you cannot pass any law by overriding the fundamental rights. You cannot do any action against the basic structure of the Constitution of India. We are here to protect the fundamental rights. So there is no question on the 24th Amendment. If you want to change the amendment, if you want to do the amendment of the Constitution of India, you do. Nobody will question you. If you want to pass some of the laws in the interest of public, you do. No one will question. But either the law or the amendment or the action of you cannot be against the basic structure of the Constitution of India or cannot override the fundamental rights in view of Article 13. That is the conclusion of the Supreme Court. Hence, this case became familiar in the name of basic structure of Constitution.
Thank you.